Worlds Collide dropped their teaser trailer in the wee hours of January 15th. This was the highly anticipated event for 13 days since mini teasers were released. So let's get into one of the many FF projects I'm hyped for. It starts off with a disclaimer, and then the title screen, which has several voice clips playing while the earlier teasers play within the word. I won't even pretend to know every single character that I heard in the opening, but if someone wants to take a crack at it, put it in the comments. Shaggy's was the most surprising because I didn't hear it the first time around, and then someone pointed it out and I could definitely hear it the second time. His voice line and later confirmation in the Discord means that Scooby-Doo is in, and this is amazing. While it is a Hanna-Barbera property, the Hanna-Barbera cartoons made Cartoon Network. Before coming up with original properties, turning on Cartoon Network meant seeing any number of popular Hanna-Barbera cartoons on the screen, so I'm really pleased to see more representation to them outside of the references. It continues into the character creation, which, like Legacy, looks good. In addition to the old hairstyles coming back, new styles are being added, and there's now facial features. New mouth styles, eye styles, and eyebrow options are added, and you can change the color based on where you slide the bar. I can't wait to get in and look at every option available. Hopefully, we can finally get this style in. After we see the character creation, we're given a look into inventory. To me, it looks like there's more slots than in the OG. I could be wrong since I haven't counted, but at a glance, there looks to be more open spaces, which is excellent if you're trying to get a certain item, but you can't figure out which level 7 monster drops your 8-ball fireball cannon, and so you have too many crates that is not the item you're looking for, and you have to wait before going to a shop to sell them for all for Taros. In short, more space is cool. Although I noticed there's no weapon 2 slot. Whether or not that means you can only carry one item at a time or this was an accident is left to be seen. There's also a blank space right next to the inventory, and I'm not sure why it's there. Maybe it's the new info box. An addition I like is that there's a bright background and the nanos are hovering behind you instead of being off to the side in their own little thing. It's the little touches that I like. Now, this is all subject to change, but what I'm looking at is really nice. Also, we get a look at the Game Hive, which is given a proper building instead of a cookie-cutter building with a sign on it. We get to see the new crates, including the legendary crate. I'm hoping one big change is that the common items won't be showing up in supers and super dupers. It always killed me getting a gold crate, and when I open it, it's a common item. If it's a lottery system, just make the crate the percentage, but leave it only for the rare items. Common in common crates, uncommon in uncommon crates, so on and so forth. We also get hints to some new items, one of which I recognize. The other two elude me, which probably means I need to do another round of cartoon watching. The new items is the most exciting to think about, especially because we saw a regular old straw hat, not at all inspired by a rubber man pirate. I just hope there's a chance to get the pencil backpack. Ooh, and the peppermintium claws. Any Alpha Strike Squad representation is good representation. Now to the best part of the trailer for me. NPCs. First off, I love the new chat option. Reading the message box is far easier than in the OG, where sometimes it'd be cut because it went widescreen. This reminds me of an RPG where you see the message box and the character. Also, I didn't realize that a few NPCs had different models, except Rex and Ben. I noticed there. First is Mac, who is shown somewhere in Prickly Pines, not just at Mount Blackhead like he was in the original game. So I wonder what his story will be. He's got a new look as well, which isn't bad. He's also brighter, and that's the one thing I really like about this game is that everything looks brighter. Next is my child Boomer, who is somewhere in downtown with the cherry blossoms. We already saw the blowfish in an earlier teaser, and he mentions it again here. So it sounds like he might still have a similar storyline to what Legacy was hinting at, but we won't know for sure. We just know that he's not at the zoo, which was where he was predicted to have been for Legacy. He's got a voice, not a smoker's voice thankfully, and a new look. I like the look, which looks like a blend between his past and future looks in Legacy. Seeing more of him is on the top of my list. He might be the first place I go to in the past. Next is Rex, who looks to be in the petting zoo. Hopefully this means we'll be going back to the zoo, which was one of the best maps in the Academy in my opinion. He mentions that there's 2 Bens, and I wonder if this is a reference to Albedo or if this is something else, like are they going to do the young Ben route that Legacy was hinting at. Also, Rex's model is different, but it definitely looks better than the OG. Up next is the man Jack, and he looks still to be in the Darklands. It's possible he's on Mandark's ship, but I could be wrong. There's red and black, so that's definitely Mandark's coloring, but it doesn't look like he's up in the air. He mentioned something about the Final Frontier. And aside from putting the Star Trek theme in my head, I'm super curious if this is an actual area on the map or just a nickname for some location. I don't know, but I'm seriously interested in it. We get Lumpus in Prickly Pines, and I love his message. It's so him, and his expression is great. Seeing him makes me so happy because I wanted Laszlo in for the longest time, but Grigon couldn't do it because it was difficult. So seeing Lumpus proves that with time and trial and error, you can do it. So I'm really thankful to see him here. Mayor is still at City Hall, which is fair since that's where he was in the OG, but he also mentions Weasel and some sort of election that's going on concurrently. We saw Weasel in a prior teaser at City Hall, so this is an interesting tie-in. I can't tell if his model was updated or not, and it doesn't look like it to me, but again, it's just everything's brighter, so maybe he was changed, maybe he was just brightened up. The nightmare of Dexter's life, Cheese, is still in the Darklands, but probably in like fire swamps or fire pits. He doesn't look to be over where he was in the OG, so maybe there's a new storyline tied in with him. And he also mentions Tetrax, so maybe Tetrax was moved as well, or maybe Cheese was moved to see him better? I don't know, so this is interesting. His model looks changed, and I love how more cartoony it is. He was like really creepy in the OG, so it's nice seeing it a little bit, not creepy. Ben has his Omniverse look, and it doesn't look bad. Omniverse isn't my favorite version of him, but I like it. He's in the Null Void, another Academy location, and a second later we see Albedo. Albedo looks so moody, his message box is hilarious, which is basically him getting annoyed with Ben calling him dangerous. I don't know if these two will stay in the Null Void, but I really hope so. Major Glory is back, and he's hiding out at Mount Neverus. He was teased in a prior teaser, and he was in the OG, although he looks better here. He's trying to assemble the Justice Friends, but realizes we're not part of the team, which is tragic. Maybe we can get a membership card in the game? Side note, Mount Neverus looks really good, which is super because I love the place in the Academy. And in the teaser, it showed Titan, and Titan just looks amazing as it looks down upon the area. I don't know if that will stay in the game, but I'm kind of hoping it does. We have Sticky Beard up next, and he looks to be in an updated Candy Cove. He's also got Candy Wife with him, which is a new move for her since she was in Ice King's fortress in the OG. I'm really loving the vibrant colors in the area, and I hope Candy Cove gets a big update. It's kind of bland when you really think about it. Half of it is the neighborhood, and the other half is like a little camp for the pirates, and then there's the infected zone. So it'll be nice to see if there's something more to it. Maybe it looks like there's a hint of a fortress, so maybe they're actually not in a camp but in a fortress. Drew Saturday is in the ruins, which is where I think she was in the OG. I remember Zach was in Mount Blackhead, and I think she was moved to the ruins after the birthday bash. I wonder if she'll have any ties to Hani Baba Temple, like if more ancient lore will be found there. There wasn't a lot going on at the ruins, and it just kind of felt underutilized. So it'd be nice if something more happened there, like maybe more characters or just more things around the temple itself instead of just like a quick little treasure box. I would love something more to come of it. Dee Dee is at her house like in the OG, but this house is based on what we saw from Legacy. She mentions an electric alien hanging around in the back, so I wonder if this is one of Ben's aliens that escaped. And if so, what's going to happen there? Is this going to be like in the OG where you had to go around the map and find them? The big surprise of this video, aside from Boomer, is Lil D. Class of 3000 was a good show, and I don't think it got the respect it deserved back when it was out on Cartoon Network. So I'm happy to see him in the game. He also mentioned Hi Hi Puffy Ami Yumi, which makes me wonder if the girls will get representation or just references like we saw in Retro with the poster. He's somewhere in downtown, but I can't tell if it's Marquee Row or not. It's not the Sunken Mall since the buildings look on the same level, so I'm going to take a guess at Marquee Row until something else comes out. After the NPCs, we get a brief shot of Number 2 and Blossom in Sector V, and then it shifts to Peridot and Larry in the future Sector V. This confirms the future will still be a thing, but wow, this future is epic looking. Fusion Waybig is looming on the horizon and is looking super scary. Not only is the sky colored a dark green, but islands are floating. This was something we never saw in the original game. You just had, you had the dark green sky, but there were no islands flying. I mean, even Sector V, the treehouse was down, not up like it is in the past. So it's really interesting to see how gravitation has been manipulated because of all the fusion matter. This is so epic, and I may be delaying my return to the past just to explore this dystopic world. Really good job on the team for building such an amazing area, and we only just see one shot of it. The final reveal just before it ends is a drawing of Coach McGurk from Home Movies, confirming Home Movies' inclusion into the game. This was a huge surprise, since Home Movies is the first confirmed Adult Swim show. Toonami and Samurai Jack don't count because they were acquired by Adult Swim later in their lives. While I have opinions on including Adult Swim content, Home Movies would be the easiest to add into this world. They're common day people, and since Brendan, Melissa, and Jason want to be in the movies, there could be a whole storyline on this idea. And based on this, what other shows, not just Adult Swim, but even maybe Hanna-Barbera, since we've got Scooby-Doo's inclusion, what other shows could be included in here? I don't know. I can only guess. But for now, this is my review of the trailer. Worlds Collide is going to be epic, and I am eagerly awaiting for when we'll be able to play. Thank you everyone for coming and listening, and I will see you all next time.